Hello students, your topic for today is public interest litigation. Hello students, your topic for today is public interest litigation. So public interest litigation differs from ordinary litigation. It does not involve the enforcement of the rights of one person against another. Rather, this type of litigation is filed to provide justice to the deprived sections of the society. It is a collaborative effort that encompasses the petitioner, the court, and the government. It is commendable to see that courts have taken all possible measures to allow access to public spirited persons and even NGOs to file petitions on behalf of those who cannot approach the court. A very prominent PIL activist is Mr. MC Mehta, a lawyer by profession and a committed environmentalist by choice. From the scores of PIL he filed, it seems his mission in life was to protect the environment. He has single handedly obtained about 40 landmark judgments and numerous orders from the Supreme Court against environmental offenders. Some of the landmark judgments arising out of PILs filed by him are the oleum gas leak case, the Delhi vehicular pollution case, the child label case, the gamma rays case, the Ganga pollution case, to name a few. Criticisms of PIL. So, PIL have been subject to a lot of criticism in recent times. One of the main criticism is that by entertaining PIL and exercising judicial activism, courts are trying to usurp the functions of the legislative and the executive. Justice Bhagwati, in the judgment of Bandhu Mukti Morcha versus Union of India, has observed that the courts, by performing the aforementioned actions, are merely assisting in the realization of the constitutional objectives of the judiciary and not usurping the functions of the legislature and executive. Another criticism is the major dilution of the principle of locus standi. It has been argued that such dilution has opened up the floodgates for frivolous cases that either involves the litigant's private interest or for seeking publicity rather than seeking justice or to stage their political objectives. In such cases, the petitions have been dismissed and heavy costs have been imposed by the courts. These acts as a deterrent to people from filing such PILs in future. Now, the features of PIL. So, the following are the features of public interest litigation. First, PIL is considered an important tool in the hands of forerunners of legal aid movement. It contributes immensely in delivering justice to masses who are standing last in the line of democracy. PIL is altogether a different field than traditional litigation claiming against the government or any other party seeking relief. But now in PIL, one person who has no interest in a claim is fighting for other rights. The purpose of PIL is not to enforce any individual rights but to serve a bigger interest by promoting the interest of masses and to do justice in public interest. PIL essentially deals with people who are ignorant of their rights or socially backward, who don't have means to fight for their claim, and their voice need not to be unnoticed. The concept of PIL is based not on individuality but on cooperative efforts of the petitioner, the state, and any other public authority to ensure proper justice towards the weaker and vulnerable section of the society. The ideal behind PIL is to redress public injury by enforcing public duty, protecting social and collective interests and rights of marginalized people. In PIL cases, the court becomes more assertive and took active interest as opposed to what it was doing since years and became more creative in nature for assuring responsibilities. PIL cases are little flexible in nature rather than what it is used to be in traditional case, but whatever method they follow must conform to basic tenets and characteristics of judicial proceedings. So, in the case of Guru Vayur Devaswam Managing Committee versus C.K. Ranjan in 2003, the Supreme Court has evolved several principles with respect to PIL. The Supreme Court and the High Court, under the power vested under Article 32 and Article 226 respectively, can entertain any plea in respect to any disadvantaged section of the society who is not in position to come to court because of his disadvantaged position, but a societal interest person can come to court fighting for their rights. Whenever there is an issue that involves a large number of people involving violation of their fundamental rights, the court can take action on based on any letter or telegram. Therefore, court relaxes with the procedural laws for ensuring justice as soon as possible. Whenever there is violation of human rights of a large number, it is duty of the court to cite principles that are mentioned in Article 14 and Article 21, and wherever possible International Convention on Human Rights, for ensuring no violation happens again. The long-standing rule of locus standi was now on the back seat. The court relaxed the rule and started looking complaint by people on behalf of poor, illiterate, and marginalized people who cannot stand on their own foot for the right cause. Once the court is satisfied, whether prima facie or otherwise, then the court will not allow other parties to raise questions on maintainability of the suit and the decision of a court to take the matter in its hand. Principles of PIL. So there is no complete denial of fact. There is no applicability of procedural laws, but courts decided to be flexible in these rules. The principles of res judicata and principles analogous would be applied demanding the nature of the petition and if the court deems it fit. So the court won't entertain any petition that purely deals with the two private parties, and there is no rule of public authorities. If any person has moved towards the court in his personal interest and for his personal grievances, the court can take a holistic outlook while treating the matter and grant remedies that are beneficial for the public good. The court has the power to appoint a commission if it deems that it is necessary to investigate more on the matter or require professional suggestions from that committee. It is duty of the courts to not to step out of their limits and acts in an unjust manner. However, if the court feels that it is necessary for doing complete justice, the court can act in any manner if they deem it necessary. In normal course, the High Court should not entertain writ petition in the form of PIL, questioning the constitutional validity of a law or any other statutes. So, the merits and the demerits of public interest litigation. The merits of public interest litigation is this, that public interest litigation is the most inexpensive remedy, thus making it very affordable for the general public. The procedure to file PIL is very easy. It deals with environmental law, health issues, and human rights. Demerits of public interest litigation is that public interest litigation has become so popular that the Supreme Court and the High Court mostly deals with PIL rather than the other cases, thus leaving pending cases which are increasingly rapidly. The political parties and the public pressure groups are filing public interest litigation for their malified intention. That's all. Thank you.